and projected it out to where we were. It could go a little lower, it could go higher, but just looking at your revenues towards the end of the year, they usually either flatten or drop off at the end of the year here. We don't really have a lot of retail yet, but you know, in some places like Durango, and I've looked at Durango's, you get that bump at the end of the year, which is generally your January, February check to give you Christmas numbers, the holiday numbers. We don't really have that same kind of bump, so I can't just say it's going to be better in the next 2 months. It does not look like the history would hold that out. So your numbers that you're looking at for the 2025 number, I feel are pretty close. Now, we were looking at our numbers, and I recalculated what we have, and we're still pretty low too. I mean, we're not as low as the COVID years, but our sales tax is down as well. And I don't anticipate that it's going to pick up to where we budgeted. I think if it does, just the numbers that I've looked at, we might get as high as 600,000. I don't expect that. That would be if we got a bump. And unless everybody's going to shop at Tractor Supply and True Value, and I do encourage everybody to do that, but unless they're going to do that for Christmas, those are the numbers that we're looking at. So as you get down though, some of your other taxes, like the property tax, it is almost in line with what was budgeted. You know, we're sitting at 249,000. We budgeted 253,000, so that's close. And you know, these numbers could go up. I'm trying to be real conservative here. We've had a bad year. It's best not to get too, you know, anticipatory of businesses and things that are coming in. I do expect that this number is going to pick up, especially as the new businesses move in, and I fully believe that that's going to happen along the highway, but that's going to take a while. So, and then, you know, one of the biggest hits we took, and this is a statewide hit, was the severance tax money. Severance tax money is generated by the state from minerals that are produced on state land or state minerals. So they pay a tax to the state, and it has been a pretty solid one. We've been as high, as you look back through here, some of the severance tax numbers are significantly higher than what we've got there. I mean, you can see that some of them have gone up into the 170 range. Last year they dropped to 815,000, and they were rated once. As you can see, they got rated again. And so we dropped from 74, what we expected to be 74,816 down to 4,000. This is a number that came from DOLA.
Yes. So
and we confirmed it. I talked with Patrick about it. I know Kathy has talked with the CML about it. Here's what Patrick told me from the DOLA folks. He said that they had a fund of about 94 million, and when the legislature got done with it, it went down to about 4 million. So that's pretty severe, like what we're seeing here. So it hurt everybody. Everybody got hurt by that severance tax hit, and obviously that's something that we're going to have to deal with. Now, we do have the federal minerals leasing, which was a little bit higher than we budgeted. So we're up to, you know, in the range we think we're going to end up, or I think we're going to end up with about 30,000, maybe a little bit north of that. So that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's a little bit of black in the middle of all that red. So, but you know, I mean, it is what it is. Your cigarette tax, that is a declining number, and you could expect that one's going to continue to go down. Oil and gas royalties, I think I skipped that. Oil and gas royalties are down here. Surprising, because you know, most of what you have here is gas, and gas always comes out of the hole. After you drill the well, it continues to come out. So to see a drop of that nature from 28,000 down to 8,700 was kind of significant. But we have not been drilling a lot of new wells up in La Plata County. Reasons for that, not going to go into that here, but the fact is you aren't drilling like a lot of the counties are around you, and because you're not drilling any new gas wells or oil wells within the county, and I say you, I mean because collectively we're not seeing that in this area. You know, we can expect a lot of that to be moving to other places where they are allowing drilling, because they do get a burst right at the beginning when they drill it. You'll get a lot for the first 3 years, and then it kind of tapers off over a period of time. And sometimes those wells go as long as 50 years. What you're seeing in other counties that you're not seeing here is that they are re-entering the wells. They're doing a lot of horizontal drilling. They're going into the same drilling pad, but they have new technologies allowing them to go into these different areas. My understanding is they're just not doing that here in Colorado for regulatory reasons or other reasons. It's easier in other places. There's less overhead in other places. So that's why we're seeing some of our neighbors around us doing a lot better in this area than we are. It's just, right now the industry's chosen to go path of least resistance, and that's just not here right now. So maybe eventually, it's not that we don't have the gas, we still do, and eventually I'm sure they'll come back here. But again, that's why that has dropped significantly. Cigarette tax, again, as I said, it's a declining revenue. Less people are smoking, that's
Good.
You know, that's something.
That's a good thing.
I mean,
That should be the only red on here.
Yeah, and you can see it's actually it's kind of gone up right after COVID, which is kind
Right.
of strange. Anyway, you know, that's something to be expected. Your motor vehicles, you know, we're a little bit, pretty on target. We were a little bit less than what we were before. That number kind of hovers up and down, you know, if you look back through the years. So, you know, it just depends on our population. As our population grows, that'll go up. I mean, you're gonna get at least 3 of them here pretty soon. So, all 3 of mine are getting ready to expire. So, you know, it just depends on how we've got folks coming in.
John, before you move on, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So in our board packets, every other month, we get the graphs that have the sales tax. And so I haven't seen where it has dropped this much. So I'm just kind of curious, is there a disconnect there? Because I also know that we get tax on online purchases, so not necessarily just purchases that are here, and it seems like those are always up. Now I know, I'm just, so it wasn't, and I don't know if I'm looking at the right line, but whichever one would be that we have the graphs, I would not have anticipated it to be this inconsistent.
I thought the graphs were always the online. I didn't think the graphs were ever anything but the online.
No, the graphs
Are they?
include all of our
They
sales
include
tax.
all?
Yeah,
They include all of our sales tax.
so why does this look so, yeah,
Well, this is the
Okay.
number that we have. This is
Okay.
based, these are based off of the numbers that were at the end of August, so that's
Okay.
66.7% of
Uh-huh.
the budget
Okay.
completed. So that's the revenues that we had at that time.
Okay.
You'll see, providing you with the actual computer program, I'll provide you with the spreadsheet, so you can see the formulas in there. But the actual numbers are very low.
okay,
I mean, they are, we're at what, for line item number 01033,001, that's the county distribution. We budgeted 1.4 million, we're at 600, what was that, 600,000?
But we also need to keep in mind, we are 2 months behind on that collection.
Yes, you're 2 months behind, and that was factored in, and that's why it says we have 813 that we're expecting for the remainder of the year. So, you know, it's in any way you look at that, whether you factor in another 33% of the year, you still have to collect taxes, which is what this is, or you add another month at the end of the year for maybe some additional February revenues. It's low, it's way lower
Okay.
than what you're expecting. So those are the numbers, those are what I'm seeing coming in. I mean, our numbers are low as well, not as low as the county's percent-wise. The county, I believe, what was the overall figure you gave today in the staff meeting as far as what we've collected today
Or,
for our revenues? It was at 37%.
it was at 37%, but that was due to that grant that is imaginary
which is
money.
part of that, and we'll get
Yeah.
into that next. But
I like imaginary money.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've got,
So,
we can only make it early.
John, can you explain me, what do you mean by anticipated 2025?
So what we've done is, what I've done is I've taken where we were, and I looked at where I'm anticipating this is going to end at. So this is the anticipated ending cash balance, or ending cash, not balance, this is the ending cash balance of that fund as far as revenues. This is what we're expecting to receive for the year for those particular line items. And what that was based on is, I didn't do all of them just a straight formula, but with something like this, I was trying to be conservative, so we were at 2/3 of the year. You take that last figure and you multiply another 50% into that, that is a conservative figure to figure you're gonna end up the year with the 100% of that. We're going to the same trend that we're on right now, unless something significantly changes. That will put us at this level. Now, yes, there might be another month added into that, that's not
Mhm.
enough to pull this up significantly, and that's
Mhm.
speculative as far as whether I think that's gonna be enough to pull it out. Again, I looked at a range, and this is the middle of that range. The high point of that range would be somewhere north of that, which would be about 878, I think is what I calculated for that. I don't have all that on here because it would be tremendously difficult to look at, but this is what I'm anticipating is a good estimate of what I believe the revenues are gonna be at the end of the year.
And you put the totals above, not below, right?
Yes, and I didn't do that.
Okay, I was like, that was weird.
That was my predecessor,
I'm like,
yes,
that's a little weird.
It is, and especially when I kept adding the numbers up.
Well, that's what I was doing, I was like, where is he
Yeah.
getting one point?
So your gray bars there are the addition of each of the items within that category. That's how it's calculated. And I kept it that way, we're not gonna that out, yes. So you're looking at, your tax revenue essentially, dropping from 2.5 million to 1.5 million.
That was this year?
That's $1 million loss right there.
Sure. That's this year.
How is that?
I've asked, how long did I take it off of that? Next question. I've never seen that before. I've never seen and so I put questions into state folks because I'm questioning, somebody's behind on this.
I know, I kind of feel like something doesn't seem right with it being off. And every other year, it's spot on, and then all of a sudden this year, it's,
Especially in those lines.
Yeah.
They're way off now. I don't know if there are any indicators, I wasn't here at that time, so
Yeah.
I don't really know what indicators are there. And you can't really blame this on the federal government, give them all the benefits, stop over
No.
here in the West.
this is taxes.
Yeah, this is taxes and whatever reason,
I mean, are we getting what we should be getting from the county? Because it seems to me like that's where we're missing a significant amount of money. So where is that $600,000 that, and I understand you said it's 2 months behind, but you're saying you factor that in. So are there less people in La Plata County paying tax? I mean, I don't see any kind of shutdown going on in our county.
I honestly can't tell you. I mean, I really don't know.
Like month to month, does it look like $100,000 less every month?
Especially because this
Ish.
year, they redid the taxes on everybody and so, well, that's not gonna hit.
Well, I feel like I paid more
But-
property taxes this year.
But, I mean, like historically, you have 4 million, 1.4 million, and now we have 813,000.
Yeah, it's not like there were like,
That's a
things were
huge
closing
trend
all
that
over the
went-
place.
I would be asking.
I would be interested to see month to month what we're collecting in county tax.
Why it's dropped this much, and like I said,
No.
It
it's probably a
should not,
state law.
property taxes have been, property has done nothing but go up.
Well, if the county was willing to meet with us, we could talk to them about that.
Bingo.
Well, so what I'd like to see, to help explain some of this, I'd like to see where we
Maybe
were
that's
at
what-
in 2024, over the 12-month cycle, what we were collecting in taxes. So what did we collect in January 2024 compared to January 2025 in county, city?
That's on your spreadsheet. That's on
Each
your-
month?
That's on that graph that you get every month.
All right, so you want me to go into every single board
I think
packet?
she wants.
No,
Yeah.
no.
You want an August to August comparison.
Yeah, I
Where
wanna
we're
see-
then versus where we are now.
Yeah, I would like to
And
s-
I can
And
certainly
where
provide that to
was
you.
it that was, like, did they just not give us as much in this period of time, or, I'd like
It
to.
looked like even the first month was a little off. I mean, I was looking at January today, I was trying to figure out
Yeah.
where it fell off the
Yeah.
rails. I haven't pulled up every single month to look at,
Yeah.
month by month, to see where it fell off. But it does look like there's
Well,
a piece that's missing every month.
Yeah, and that's what I'd like to just look at to better understand why the projection is so low. Because by looking at this, I'm like, something is not right. Because I don't think, it's not like I'm paying less taxes.
Right?
I'm not paying less any taxes.
Nobody is.
So, I mean, even property taxes, I'm surprised it went down, since I know just mine personally went up. But,
So, if you remember,
It's not by that much.
and I'll go back to one of the first ones that I saw, actually it was one of the ones I asked for when I interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
It is the It's a really nice little table that Kathy produces that talks about what you have, what you're making this year, and what funds are actually paying for themselves. And that's where I had the first problem, because an enterprise fund that have a little negative. You know, I looked at that, and then all of a sudden, I looked down at the revenues, what we were versus what we budgeted, and it was at the halfway point, it was abundantly clear that we were already a little bit of trouble, a lot of trouble in some of these matters.
But the other thing I'm noticing, I'm jumping around, when I look at stormwater fees, and there's nothing in there for 2025, when I,
There's a reason for that. I'll get to
okay,
that.
sorry, no, the big ones on this that I'm just, the first chunk, and then I'm kind of confused about the last chunk, and then everything else, yeah, I can understand it a little bit better, like, but, well, yeah, where there's a significant difference between 943,000 and 524,000, so I'm kinda like, did we really have less people involved in the athletic programs and the adult and youth, like, we
I
can,
thought we were busting at the seams.
yeah,
That's
so,
what all of-
I mean,
all
we
of our
didn't lower our
I-
cost.
I can speak to that. So I put in some projections for that, and I don't know if she was planning on upping fees. But the projections I put in didn't land there, because if you look at the baseline, it's pretty baseline between where they are and on those things. I didn't put in 40,000,
Okay,
I'll tell you
so
that.
she made the assumption that it was.
There
gonna
were
go up.
some edits, yeah, and there could have been a planned up fees, I'm not sure, about that. We've been doing good to keep them there, because, yeah, I think if I look at my old numbers, I think I put in 36.
Okay, so we should be more in line with the 2024 actual than maybe what was put in the budget for 2025.
Yeah, and
Okay,
the older kids too, we're bursting at the seam in the younger athletics. We literally have 3 little kid fields out there and just 2 big kids fields, because there's a lot of bigger kids sports offered. Durango Youth Soccer pulls a lot of away from us of the like 5th and 6th grade level. We can't even field a football team of the 5th and 6th graders right now, so we did lose that. But yeah, they were put higher than I would
Okay.
originally put them in.
no, well, that explains
So,
that.
Yeah.
so to me, like, if this is what the actual is and we have a shortfall of $1.55 million,
It's even more than that, that's all explained, so,
okay.
because of the
it's-
imaginary money.
Hold on, if we have a shortfall like that, how come we didn't recognize it earlier in the year? Did we not see that?
Compared to,
Percent increase, 1%.
Thank you.
sorry, it didn't come out in color.
No, it's fine. I knew we had this somewhere.
This is, so this is 2024 compared to what we're collecting right now in 2025 from, this is from the state and this is from the county. This is where we're at as of.
Okay, so
the end of
combined is
August.
the city and county?
It is, the top line is what we get from the state, because they collect our city tax.
For us,
The bottom is what we collect from the county.
So
That's not right.
those numbers don't match what you
No, they
have
don't.
on your
They
sheet
don't match
at
what
all?
I was provided at all, you're correct. They don't match with that,
I was gonna say,
the
cause
ones that we have.
we'd seen it and we always were above, so that makes me feel a lot better.
Well, I'll
So-
have to go
That's
back and
okay.
look at this, I don't know where these numbers coming from compared to the
That's
I'm
okay.
looking,
the financials that you get provided every month.
so looking at the financials that I have in front of me, which are the end of August, the year-to-date of county sales tax is $696,897 that we have collected through August. But that is only through, actually through,
It's 2 months behind.
it's 2 months behind.
So it's June,
So it's actually
half
June's.
the year, so
Yeah.
696 is closer to
Right.
1.4 million.
So we still have 6 months of collection to go. We won't be done collecting until February.
Okay,
Wait, I'm
Of
confused though.
25.
Where's the 942 number coming from under La Plata County sales tax share? And then our Bayfield sales tax Cause you just said 600 and something, so I'm trying to,
But she was saying what they've collected so
What
far
we've
this
collected
year,
so far.
not necessarily
Oh,
what the actual
so-
is.
Right.
just
okay,
what
so
they
this is
have
the
in their bank.
actual and we don't have it yet, okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
So what I'm using is what we collected, because I'm using the financial.
This is what we have collected.
Oh,
This, we have these are the numbers we've actually got in the bank.
But
This month.
that's not on
This one?
the monthly
Yes.
financials.
okay.
So that, well, if that's the case, then I'm gonna have to go back and redo it.
Yeah. Okay.
Figure exactly what numbers we're looking at,
We
because
need to maybe
on your
No
P
worries.
and Ls,
split today's
yeah,
and come back.
all over again. On the P and Ls itself, that's one I never.
No, no, that's okay, that's why well, now I wanna make sure Kathy's numbers are coming from the right place, cause me, I don't know. We got a discrepancy here. But yeah, okay, okay. But I mean, I feel like the other, like, these are just the tax numbers. I'm going to, unless there's some other place.
We'll probably be short because she.
The only other thing I was looking at was trying to understand the capital improvement fund. How, I
I
don't,
was trying to figure out why there's such a difference in, you know, the youth programs, and that number seems really high, 524 versus 943.
yeah.
Because of that.
It's that capital improvement thing. What is that?
12 is huge, and it doesn't look like, I mean, it's just the capital improvement piece. Are you maybe able to explain the capital improvement? Why that's such a difference in the budget versus actual?
I've only got 2 years, the 24 budget and the 25 budget, and I entered that number in. So there wasn't one under 23, 22, or 21.
Where are you at?
Is that a transfer of
Capital
money into
improvement.
there from another fund?
Trying to look at it.
The capital improvement is low because these are this is a transfer fund.
Yeah.
And so, I transfer every month. When we do those projects, I transfer from the capital improvement fund to here. And we just haven't finished, those are projects that aren't finished yet. So we will eventually move all that money into.
So
into
that's
the
not
general.
money we're expected to receive?
It's a transfer.
That's why I was
It's a
like,
transfer.
so maybe that one should be just like,
Oh, that one should be done until the
Uh-huh.
line item.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a transfer.
It needs to say transfer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay, I think we solved like a lot of the money
Yeah.
Well,
problem.
we haven't solved it, we've now got
Yeah.
two
No, I mean,
numbers.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that it
It's
doesn't
Yeah.
still have a negative to it, but I feel a lot more comfortable with, you know, almost 700 grand and 300 grand, that's $1 million. Necessarily fixed or understood, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you turn to the next page, you can get this one, based upon our projected revenue, that would be what I would be looking at. That was our revenue for this year, and in the copy, would be projected, that's based upon projected revenues of what I was looking at.
Right.
That number may go up. Of course, you've got your municipal distribution, the parks related sales tax, that is in our highway, obviously, that's hopefully you get it, you can do all that, that's the case of production. Projected amount. If you go down, you'll see there's a red bar here. That was why you show on all of your forms that you had $6 billion in revenue. You had 2 billion in tons, you wouldn't even apply for it. You had a great agreement or something. If there was no, there's no reason to put that in there. You had a secure source of money. And you see when you get single funds like the intersection fund, you will see that it is literally, the revenue is here and your expenditures are here, and the expenditures are still bigger than the revenues because we still know we need about 1.2, 1.3 million to complete that project.
So was it that like she was anticipating that we were gonna get that money and then like kinda ghosted? And she included it in the budget and we never even got it?
So she included it in the budget in the hopes to get it, and she did that so that she wouldn't have to do a budget adjustment later in the year to put it in there if we did get it. And I think that, I mean, there's two theories on that. You could not put it in there and
Do a budget
and do a
adjustment?
budget that's more actual, or you could do one that's just preempting what the possibilities are in that year and not have to make adjustments later on.
So then she never followed through getting the grants.
Well, I don't think it necessarily didn't follow through getting the grants. 2025 wasn't her.
So,
Yeah.
all
And
right.
I don't know the grant period that she was applying for, I don't know if it was November or, grant applying for, the deadlines just fall throughout the year. depending on
Right.
the program
Right.
you're talking about. And I, again, that's something that some managers do, I told you at the very beginning. I don't like to do that because you're counting on chickens that haven't hatched yet, and sometimes they don't hatch, and so people look at that bottom number and they say, wow, you got a lot of money here, why are we worried about this?
I would much rather have actual than projected like that and just do the budget adjustment. That's just my personal preference
Same
because
here.
I'm looking at something
I'm
that's
fine
not
with that.
true
Yeah.
And-
yet.
The benefit to that is, when we do get a grant, you guys get to make a big deal about it. Hey, we found some additional monies,
Yeah.
and it keeps the project fresh in everybody's mind, moving forward, and having up on it. And that's, especially when you have grant signing agreements and stuff, some of these places make a big deal about it. It's not getting to the council getting together, you guys get moving forward with it. I mean, it's
We'll do that
kinda
when we get
cool
the
to show
east
the public, though,
intersection.
that you're, that we're still pursuing it, even though it's a big amount of money, that you've got your staff working on this, and so that's my intention on that anyway. Without that in there, I mean, obviously, your numbers, depend heavily on your sales tax, so, if that sales tax goes
Yeah.
up, it can be adjusted up.
Yeah.
Fortunately for the city, we have more than enough to spend. I mean, there's a lot of projects out there. So if you're looking at that, you can see the projections as far as where the amount is gonna be. It's, some of them are a little bit higher because I anticipate there are going to be, more business registrations. I feel we dropped the ball on business registrations, whether the state is not, and I think it's usually the state that is the one that kinda gets on the folks if they don't have their business licenses. So we're gonna try to encourage folks to get their business licenses because I don't see where you've had a whole bunch of businesses leave town. I think what you have is that,
They're just not renewing it.
they're not renewing it, they're not paying their taxes, which is, the state is the baddie on this one. They'll be the ones that'll send a letter saying, hey, you're not paying sales tax, and we wanna remind you of that, so, we don't do that, thank God, we don't have to knock on doors.
And one of the reasons that our business licenses went down is this, there was legislation passed that companies that do not have a physical presence in our town do not have to have a business license. So up till a couple years ago, we collected a business license fee from anybody that sold anything on the internet.
Fourth of July vendors.
Yeah, CenturyLink, anybody like that that provided a service in our town or sold stuff to our town, we collected that $50 fee from. But legislation passed that we don't, unless they have a physical presence or they actually physically come into our town to deliver goods, they do not have to have a business license. So that is one reason our business licenses dropped dramatically.
It says limited physical presence. I tried to get Attorney Goldman to define that for me, and I said, well, how many days here is a limited physical presence? Because I wanted to know because of the vendors for block parties, for Fourth of July, and those kinds of things.
Because used to, there would be just some off the top of my head, just because I know that I printed them years ago. Like makeup companies, like you can get online and order from
the Avon lady.
like the Avon lady, or, things like that. All of those companies had a business license with us. Well, they don't have to anymore.
Okay, well, legislature.
Yeah.
Still send letters out in November to all the ones, even if they're inactive, that says, hey, renew your license or you get a late fee. And, yeah.
Not charging the vendors that license fee, maybe we need to start charging them a booth fee to make up that revenue.
We could definitely up those booth fees. I'd have to
Why wouldn't we?
get a resolution in front of you guys.
They were willing to do 25, 50 bucks for whatever it was before.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
And if you see our revenue, that is one that is actually up, was special events. And that is a lot of that because our 4th of July is getting,
Well, we can talk about it. I don't want to turn people off from wanting to do that, though.
well, but they
Yeah.
were paying for it before to come. They were
Didn't-
paying for the business license.
Yeah, but don't they have to pay to, like, if you're doing the block party, don't you, you just fill out the application?
those are
to get the money?
free. Yeah, the block parties are free, but we do charge for 4th of July.
Oh,
And now you
Yeah.
don't have to. You didn't pay for a vendor spot, you paid for the license.
oh, okay. I thought they had to
And
pay for
I'm
the vendor
saying,
spot. Okay, I hear you.
Now let's do a vendor
Yeah,
spot since
okay.
they don't have the license, so
yeah.
that we don't lose the revenue.
Well, I mean,
And-
we should be going after everyone who has an animal since there's only 85 fees and that's
Way
85,
more
yeah.
dogs in this.
Well,
world
and
than that.
two, with,
$30 of that is mine.
go with the business license too, it makes me wonder if they're collecting sales tax correctly. So the ones that ask me, what do I need? Do I need a business license? Well, no, you only do one event a year. But I do tell them, you guys need to be collecting sales tax and remitting that to the state, because then it gets kicked back to us for our chunk.
And we don't
want it if they're doing it.
Yeah, that makes me really wonder, yeah.
What I've learned so far from the planning department also is that they're running into a lot of people that aren't getting their licenses, and they're reminding them, hey, you need to get your license now. I know I was talking to Dan this morning.
Dan's great at that.
He indicated to me that there were people out there that didn't have it, and so he's taking it upon himself, which is great, to say, hey, you need to get down to the town hall and get a business registration. We're gonna continue to harp on that. I think that there's an opportunity there to gain some additional revenue. I like the booth fee idea. I think that makes sense. I mean, if you're not paying for it this way, we probably need to collect it somehow.
If you're selling something, if you're a not-for-profit educating people. you'd
So
have a
block
difference.
parties are free historically. Is that something you guys want me to explore, is putting up a fee on the booths for the block
I
party,
would
except for
like to know
nonprofits?
If others who do something similar charge fees.
Okay.
I don't want to be the only,
My experience is most places that you have a booth or vendors at, you pay a fee. We, at the bank, we go and do lots of booths in conventions, conferences, and things like that. And even outdoor stuff, and we pay a fee for
It doesn't have to be exorbitant, but maybe a 25 to help us, because we have to fund the block parties this year too. Right. But it would help make those more sustainable because porta potties are
I
expensive.
think there's opportunity is what I'm hearing, for sure. Okay.
Okay, as we're going down the permitting fees, I anticipate that even though we're a little bit low with the permitting fees right now, I anticipate we're going to see an increase in that, especially when the other subdivisions start coming online. We've got maybe another year out, but hopefully in 2026, people will be fully permitted for that intersection, because there are quite a few commercial and residential into that. So I'm anticipating bumping that up again, and if we get more great, that's great about that. Same thing with the development fees. You see, I've got the development fees on, obviously, we're looking at some significant developments that are coming in. We've got a lot of annexations. Some of those annexations, some of them have ideas that they're going to develop their property. We've got some of them that are coming in with the zoning that we have. I don't think they're quite clear what we want to do with it. Definitely along the highway, we've had a number of our owners that have expressed interest in working with some of the property. That would be
How is the mosquito control fee going down? Do we have less people paying for mosquito, like, I thought that was just like an automatic, it's on your bill and you're stuck paying for it. So I'm not seeing, I don't understand why that is projected down by,
It was based upon where they were this
Okay.
year, but that doesn't mean that, because we haven't come out, not too long ago to start spraying. I know I saw their.
And it is,
They
and
spray.
it is voluntary. It's the one fee that's
What?
voluntary.
people, if they have it on their bill, can say they don't want it on their bill? What? Really? So if they spray my neighborhood that person still gets sprayed. I don't know about this.
I don't
That's
think
what I was taught when I was hired and did
All right.
utilities. Maybe I'm
not
mistaken.
supposed
I think the only way they can get on the no spray list is they have to go on the state's website that Vector Control provides and sign up as a, organic property. And that should be the only way they can get off of that.
I'll look into that.
Yeah.
The air doesn't.
I know, right?
From one neighbor to another, but yeah.
I mean, okay, so like Pamela Smith on North Street, she has organic flowers in front of her property. She is signed up to be a non-spray.
Okay.
Theoretically, they are supposed to turn it off before they get to her
Okay.
property, and they're not supposed to start it until they pass her house.
So that's up to
I'm
Vector
not
Control
saying
how
that it
they,
doesn't
how
hit her house,
they handle
but
that.
Someone
but
like her, she does not get charged because she has signed up for the thing.
So
Isn't
do
that
we
like
have
$2
a bunch
a
of
month?
people that just called up and said, I
Yeah.
wanna opt out of this, and we did it for them?
No.
Okay.
It's like $24 a year.
Utility transfer, it sets up automatically in
Okay.
there. But
So I think it would be good, but my point is, it looks like it's an $8,000 difference. And so that's something that's red flagging to me, because how many people see, I would think that there wouldn't be a whole lot of people here who are actually going through that process to $8,000. I mean, again, $24 annually is what we all pay. So I'd just be curious to know, how could that be projected to be down by that much?
And I don't know what that latest bill looks like. Have you seen anything from them recently that, I mean, as they bill us, it's kind of a pay-as-you-go, isn't it?
Well, we've paid for the entire year. This revenue line is from the utility accounts. This is the money we actually collect as we bill.
So we should
That's
just,
the part where
Yeah.
why is there such a huge difference?
yeah,
Yeah.
is there something wrong in the system where the money's going somewhere else or it's not being collected?
Do it
I-
quarterly?
Honestly, looking at the August financials, we've collected, the 15, let's see, we've collected right now the 15,876. That is our year-to-date actual at the end of August.
Okay, and we'll
So
collect for
we still
4 more
have
months.
September,
Okay.
October, November, and December to go
Okay,
on
awesome.
our billing. So I think that will wash.
Actually, it does, cause I just divided it by 8 and multiplied by 12, and it comes out to 23,814.
Yeah,
So
it's-
we
it
can
should
actually,
wash.
you can actually put that as
It's straight ahead.
Yeah.
straight, and then budget it for the projected amount for the 23.
23,175.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, good to know. Okay. Well, we found some money right there.
Yay!
Yay!
I like finding money.
Okay,
We found a bunch of money today.
well, I will have to confirm.
That's
I
okay,
know-
no, no, no.
I'm aware of that.
John, no,
know
I mean,
that.
you're
So you
taking
think
someone
you can
else's
follow, so I wanna make
spreadsheet
sure.
where we're learning that there was like secret money that really shouldn't be in there. But also, I don't know what the P and L is that you're looking at versus the information Kathy has. So I think what'll come out of this meeting is you guys will get together, and I'm hoping that we'll see, we might still see some red, but it won't be the significant variance. And that's cool.
Well, and I'm working
Kenley?
on the bank reconciliation for the month of September right now. So not Tuesday night, but the following meeting, we'll have a better idea of exactly where we sit at 3/4 at the end of that third quarter.
Perfect.
So we'll have a way better.
Yeah.
And, I mean, John's been drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
So, I
No,
mean,
no,
some
that's-
of these
yeah.
numbers that he's using are,
I'm not faulting him at
Yeah.
all. You
No,
are
no,
so
this
brand
is-
new.
We're with you.
And you
Yeah,
are
we-
literally
it's
just
okay.
jumping right in. So
No,
So-
I,
I wanna know for sure, because
Actually, I-
obviously
I-
I'll be owning this next one.
Yeah.
I think this
Yeah.
is, a good meeting to
Yeah.
kind of learn and go over it, and you can hear some of the stuff we know, some of the
Yeah.
stuff Kathy knows,
Yeah.
and, yeah, we can.
well, and we've
It's a
both
good-
been
this
going
is a
in
good thing.
opposite directions, so we really haven't, I've worked on it, he's worked on it, we haven't had a chance to like
Sit
sit
down
down
together.
and talk about it. Because honestly, your next 3 line items, the the carryout bag fee, the counter services, and this, the service charge fee, I think are gonna be in the same boat as your mosquito control fee.
Okay.
The figures that he is using are figures from the end of August, and so there's still money to collect on those. So those 3 items will probably wash as well.
Well, thank goodness that's gonna get us
So,
another
I
like
think
$500.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I found a whole $1,000, so.
Sweet! John, man, you're winning. This is awesome.
I'll take whatever win I can get. So I'm sure we'll be feeling a little bit better about maybe another 200,000 or 300,000 in those tax.
I don't know. I look at Jeremy's section at the bottom and I'm like, I think you're gonna see a lot more of that.
So, as you go down through here, are there any other line items that, I mean, the admin fees were pretty straightforward. They're actually lining up at exactly 66.7%. I think those were set very well. Those
They
look
are.
like they're automatically coming over. And so all of your admin fees look like they're doing really well, except for the question on the stormwater.
Yeah.
Stormwater has its own fund.
Yes.
And that is at 100, and actually, right now, I suspect it's around 120.
120,000.
Yeah, for the stormwater, the.
Oh, collections?
Yeah, collections so
Yes,
far.
yes.
So that's sitting about there. I mean, I've been watching it. It was, at this point in time, it was like 102.
Okay, yeah.
I think we're in the
Yeah.
120.
Well, again, everyone
The-
pays $10 a month, so.
Well,
Yeah,
what,
that's pretty straightforward
Yeah.
revenue,
So-
so.
so in our stormwater fund, it's collecting a fee, but all of these admin fees are based on a percentage of total payroll, divided amongst the different funds. And that's how the admin fee is calculated. There is there's no salary that pertains to stormwater, so it was decided by Scott, I couldn't think of his name, that we shouldn't be taking money out of that fund to
Agreed.
put to the general fund, because all we're doing is overdrawing that fund. So that's why you see that fund at 0. So, I mean, it was budgeted for that money to go to the general fund, but there's no money, there's no
Oh, this
wages
is-
there.
this
And I'm
section-
gonna make that a little bit clearer, because you notice it's not on here.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I mean, this was put on here because you have the historic number that was budgeted in there.
Yeah.
Right.
What I've done is I've separated it into a separate fund.
Okay.
So that fund, right now, what I'm gonna recommend is that we use any of that money for matching for grants.
Yes.
Because that right there is
That's-
actual money we've got.
That's
that we
what
can-
it's intended.
So, but you know, if you read the stormwater plan though, it says that you wanna hire a person on it too. I just think we're not ready for that yet.
No.
I think eventually maybe we are, but right now, we gotta get something for them to
Yeah.
maintain. And-
Right.
Yeah.
And so I really feel strongly about that. I've
Yeah.
already asked Jeremy,
Mhm.
and I'm jumping a little bit ahead to what I'm gonna do next Tuesday, but I've already asked Jeremy to get me the top off the plan, give me a couple of good projects. Right now, the Schroeder ditch issue with the neighborhood that's up on
Seven
the north
Heights?
side of town, that's a big one for us. It's about $1 million piece. That's one of the projects we're gonna do. I've asked you for 1.2 million, so that's gonna also include some other projects. I think there's some smaller projects replacing some culverts, one over kind of where we live, and then there's one down in the lower area, but we're gonna try to get about 1.2 million in projects based upon the plan that you guys had done.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna, that'll be phase 1, and my goal is to try to fund one of those every year.
That's
And
awesome.
just march our way through, and with $100,000 that we're seeing, or maybe 150 by the time this is done, that is a really good match
Yeah.
to go forward and
Right.
get other monies. And, some years, like this year, may not be as flush with money coming from the feds, but there are some still out there. Others, though, we may score and not have to match it with more than maybe 5%. Some of those, especially if we mix some state monies in there, so. But it's a great revenue source. You guys did a good job.
Well,
by
step
passing
one
that.
was you have to have a enterprise fund in order to even be eligible for the grants, and so that's why it's there. And then we'll figure out how to, I like your plan.
So,
Yeah.
kind of jumping ahead.
Yep, yep.
And
That's
that's why
okay.
you don't see a lot, some of our funds you don't see on here. I picked the major funds that we have, because I'm gonna go over each one of those funds on a single sheet. That's gonna have your revenues, because they're, basically, there's not a lot to that. There is, we're gonna use this for matching a project. Here's what the revenues are that we anticipate for this year. Here's what we're going to go for phase 1, and, we can define phase 1 depending on how much money we get in the grant.
Right.
So, anyway.
Like,
Cool.
So that brings us over to the other 3 that are here, and these are enterprise funds. So
We didn't really go too in-depth with the athletic programs, we kinda like
Okay.
jumped a bunch. And I kinda wanted to go over that and just have a quick discussion
Yep.
about that, because if it was that there was a thought process of fees being increased, actually, I think that's something we may wanna talk about.
Okay.
And the reason, and I don't wanna like increase them high, but, you know, a couple bucks.
Well, I think we
Couple
looked at, we're
bucks.
not competitive
We're
with
not.
anyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else's fees are higher.
I know.
And so I think
Yeah.
that was part of the plan, and I just don't think it got implemented
I
yet.
agree, so that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I think
Yeah.
that we,
Yeah.
that needs to be implemented this year. I just think between not having a town manager and
Do a study,
being
or,
on the phone.
you know, and have you done some type of pre-work?
Dustin knows when
Yeah, I
if he's coming
believe-
back.
I believe they did look up fees in the other areas to have a comparison off of, and they were higher, throughout LaProx County,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because that may help with a little bit of that negative and.
And with the, I mean, because we just bought all those jerseys, and there's gonna
Right.
need, there's just upkeep that needs to happen, so I feel like that's why we need to be, I don't wanna be the most expensive
I don't
soccer
either.
team
I
in
don't wanna
town,
price
but,
gouge.
I
Yeah,
don't, no,
but-
that's not the intention,
Yeah.
but the intention is not to be so far down the rabbit hole of not charging them that it doesn't pay for itself.
yeah, we need it to pay for itself.
Right.
We're not trying to make money off of youth
Right.
sports, we're
Yeah,
just
the
trying to break
program
even.
needs to pay for itself.
Yeah.
Well, and I
Um,
think if we're looking at the cost, it's probably the cost of, the services we provide have gotta be less than the cost that Durango provides, or their overhead is so much more than ours, so I think we probably can raise it and still keep it under some of our neighboring communities that are there. I would like to do that.
Well, there's field maintenance, there's staff, there's the equipment, and so, I mean, it's just like, what's the cost of doing this? And what are we collecting? They need to match-ish.
Well, we've charged $35 to pay to play sports probably as long as I can remember. As long as I've been here, I believe it has never changed from 35. If it did, it went from 25 to 35 15 years ago. But I've been here almost 17 years.
Right.
And so that's, and I guarantee you, you know, we've had staff that, well, Dustin has kids that have played sports in Durango. I guarantee you they aren't playing any kind of recreational sport for less than $100. I mean, I have grandkids that play sports.
Go back to youth
I know
programs.
what it's costing
And
to
you
play
weren't here.
sports.
Well, I was.
Planning for you without you.
Because I had voluntary fee stuck in my head, and it is in the resolution, 589, that mosquitoes is voluntary.
Okay, so maybe we need to look at that. Yeah, because,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Uh-huh.
$1.40, yeah, for everyone.
yeah, it's really not that expensive.
Yeah. No, I just, sorry, I had it stuck in my head, I'm like, I've seen that.
Because we can tell all the mosquitoes to go to the people who are not paying.
Yeah,
Next
they're,
house down.
Yeah, no, not here,
not
please.
me, them.
Yeah,
So we did raise fees to 50 to cover the jerseys, you know, and we still do take a little bit of loss on that because they're about $19 a piece. But again, yeah, we are the lowest fees in the area, and something we've prided ourselves on, but it's, I know. Right.
It's not that low.
not that we're at a loss. I don't wanna see
Honestly,
red here.
softball's the one that needs to be upped because it is high maintenance, high labor,
Right.
and it's high labor for the police department.
Yes, it
You know, the adult sports actually is the one, softball would be where I would start. And then maybe raise
Well,
the
make it
youth to
so.
50.
If that's where you're going to start, make it so.
All right.
Bring it to us.
Okay.
That'd be good for during your budgeting.
If that number
Overall.
was inclusive of an increase, you know, the traffic has still been about the same, Dustin,
The what?
was in prior years, the participation level.
Yeah, we're higher in the small kids, like the pre-K through third. We're lower in like fifth and sixth grade.
That must have been what you were looking at then. If we didn't,
Yeah.
There's a method to some of the madness.
that's quite a bump if
Yeah.
not considering the fact that.
No, when I did my revenue projections, I kept it pretty in line. I'm pretty conservative when I do revenue projection. I kept it, because you can see the whole history, and we get the same printouts here in ours. And so I sat there, I was pretty conservative with it, because I did know we are booming in small sports, but we're down in big sports, so I figured it would wash. And then when I saw that number, I was like, whoa.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you have any other questions on this front page?
No, that was all I wanted to talk about. Oh, and then skate park is minus 52 grand.
That is
Conservation
your-
Trust fund.
Oh.
We're just pulling that out because it was a one-time deal,
Yeah, yep. The trust fund, the Colorado Trust. picked it
Figured
up.
as much, but double check.
Yep.
High school soccer is the
All right, so what page are we on, John? Second page, third page?
Okay, well, really, the second page is just looking at the projected amount that I was looking at, putting the budget, obviously, that recommended amount is going to change.
Yeah.
Because some of this is different.
Mhm.
Obviously, it
Right.
changes.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
very happy that. it
Yeah.
changes it the other
Yeah, I know you gotta double
'Cause
check
I got the
because
expenditures on the other side, and I'm scratching my,
you
what
gotta
have
double
I
check,
done?
and I
Yeah.
understand that you wanna do that just for your own peace of
Yeah.
mind and stuff like that, but yeah. that would
You will be very much prepared for Tuesday if we all get here at 5. If we're still looking at these numbers, I don't know.
Well,
We're taking a holiday on Monday, so tomorrow's a long day.
Well, it's gonna help because
You're taking holiday.
I'm looking at spending all of the expenditure requests in.
I got the next one there.
And then we've got the capital that we've got to look at and see what we've got left over for that. So
Mhm.
this does, would be great if we got more. I'm all for that.
Mhm.
Okay, these revenues, each of the main enterprise funds that we've got that have a lot of activity, obviously your sewer. These are the line items taken, again, out of the August financials, out of the P&Ls. So the projected amount is simply where we were at the time, times 0.5. You have a third of the year, so you added another third to that. And that gives us what we've got for the request for that year, or for the anticipated revenues for that year. So we budgeted 2025, we budgeted 1.5 million. We're a little bit ahead of that. So I bumped that up a little bit. People are not flushing their toilets less, and if we can get the ones that aren't paying, pay.
That'd be
however we do
awesome.
that, we've got a lot of those. We will definitely be able to collect more in that as well.
Was that cause where they furloughed the bill, or they didn't have to pay it?
Pardon me?
Are you talking about the?
These are out of town people.
These are
Oh,
out of town,
out-of-town.
these
We
are,
have no way to collect, so
Yeah.
unless we
it's
go
the
to
majority
taxes.
of the majority of the offenders are in Homestead. We have no ability to shut off their water. So we have no ability to shut off their sewer for not paying their sewer bill because they are sewer only. In prior years, we, put a tax levy on them and collected that money through their taxes. It's a process. You guys have to pass a resolution in November with all of their names, and it's made public who's on it, what they owe. The treasurer will charge us an 11% fee that is added to what we collect. They take it right off the top. Katie did away with that in COVID, and then never would let us implement it again. So we have some sewer bills that haven't paid. We have people out there that honestly have not paid in a couple years.
Yeah, this needs to be fixed immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
How much is it?
immediately.
How much did it total?
But here's the
What's a
problem
round
I've
number
got.
of that?
A round number, I told John the other day, I gave you a guesstimate. I think there's about 20 to 25,000 just in Homestead.
I've got the fine area, and that's not the old area. You've got a lot of Swiss cheese holes that are now.
Right.
People are
Do
doing
the
it.
same thing.
And Jeremy can't go, there's no water meters right there, he can't shut that off. So my solution, some of it, not all, some of it areas, going back to the request for annexation that Homestead had.
Yes.
And getting that back. Now, I've got a bunch of reasons why I want to do that. They've got a well with water rights that are unattached to our current system, or aren't connected to some good things that are about to carry our engine and something else. But there are a lot of different reasons why I think bringing that in makes sense. They're not doing it very fair. I mean, right now, they're on another water system, paying somebody else to pay water. They're not paying our sewer, nobody's gonna turn them off, and there's a bunch of them. And here's the problem, you go do the tax thing, next month, this is get good, they're not gonna pay in. These people are not people that are just doing that.
Oh, no.
We've collected on them in the past, they know that and
They know
if
they
I
can
have to
do
collect
this.
it 3 or 4 years later, that's hurting the town, so.
So the last time they wanted to annex into the town, we were told that it actually was not profitable for us to do something like that because of the upkeep and the roads and all that jazz.
And I think there is a trade-off there, but I have another problem with your system. I think the state's gonna have that problem as well. They've already been on some of it. When you open your NPDES permit in the outside world without any control of what goes in your plant, you open yourself up for some huge fines. And the Clean Water Act is like 7 big fines. And we don't have the ability, we don't, to control what goes in there. Let's say somebody goes and pumps a body shop out, I won't tell them that. They go pump a body shop outside of town, somewhere in another town, and it's too expensive for them to dispose of that in Durango, because they have to pay a ticket fee there. And they know there's this quiet little village outside of Bayfield that has a line out there that they can, in the middle of the night, pop a manhole open, flush all that stuff down the drain and drive off. Nobody even leave a cane there, maybe on a dead end street. And that hits the plant and kills it. It's like killing it, I mean, it kills the bugs and treats the stuff that gets flushed down the toilet. Then you pollute the river. And what'll happen is the EPA will do their investigation, or through the state, they'll do their investigation, and they will determine that you don't have adequate control of your EPA permit. And you will be the one who bear the cost of that. You bear the responsibility and the liability of that.
And that's
So,
because we allowed our sewer
because
system
you
to go
allowed-
outside of our jurisdiction.
Without adequate control on it, yeah. So you could have had maybe if there's an HOA that would be willing to enforce on it, that would be willing to accept that liability. There are mechanisms, co-ops and authorities sometimes have that ability.
But we
to-
didn't
to
do that.
enforce it. No, and we were being nice and we were being good neighbors, as Jeremy described it to me. The lagoons were failing in the respective areas. They basically said, well, hey, we'll help you get a wastewater plant here. You've got some grants to do that. And they said, well, you have to hook these guys up. They didn't go into just how we had to hook them up. They wanted the problem that they were worried about were 2 plants that were polluting the environment. They wanted those stopped and put in a modern plant. And they do that in a lot of small towns. That's not unusual. But what we probably didn't do was sit down and determine, hey, if we do provide them sewer out there, what's the deal? I basically had to go out and annex about 30% of my town rails down because of that same thing. We were told we had to hook them up to sewer, on our sewer system. And because the groundwater was polluted in the area, people basically flushed their toilets right into the wells. And so the state came up to us, since we were the only municipality around there. They said, we're gonna give you a bunch of money for your plant, but guess what you're gonna do? But they also told us at the time, you're gonna take care of that. And they explained to us what that meant. And this is the same EPA that, EPA was regulated in New Mexico, the state didn't do it. So that's the law that Colorado follows as well. So I am concerned about that.
Okay.
And I think it hasn't happened, thank God. I don't wanna, I really don't want that, idea out there, but I know that you've got unscrupulous folks that there's a bad apple in every industry.
It can happen. You gotta mitigate the risk. the way
We
you
gotta
can.
fix it, but we can't have people who are able to flush their toilets and not pay.
Right.
Like, that needs to also be fixed. So I think we have like a longer term issue, but we have a short term, how do we get them to pay for what they owe?
Let's look at
Because,
short and long.
yeah, I
I'm
think
gonna bring it
two-pronged
forward.
approach, but yeah, if I was not paying my bill to flush my toilet, that should be turned off.
And the word's got to happen in the neighborhood, because it's not just one.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
whole clusters of them that are
Yeah.
together. They
Well-
know they're not, so I agree, and I think it's a lot of work on Kathy's part. And so
It's
I
a
do
word,
think
Kathy.
We do need a long-term fix, because this hasn't
You didn't
stopped
have
the
enough to
problem.
do
Yeah.
In years past, we have filed these things. Dustin was talking about liens. I mean, that's our only other way. You won't get a lien paid for until somebody sells the house.
Yep.
That could be 20 years down the road, so.
Right.
Again, it's an issue that we've seen. They have asked for annexation before, so it's not like it's something that is totally out of, and we're good in that we've got, right now, we've got our planner that's working for us, actually did the plan for them to come into town. So I've already met with her, and she's very familiar with the assessment of the cost. She believes it's actually cost effective. It's a
I just
balancing
wonder,
act,
like,
but-
not say it's not.
No.
It's gonna cost us problems. I mean, there's no doubt about it, but, we're already dealing with stuff out there, whether it's the water department, the sewer folks,
The
police
car
I mean,
hits
I don't know how
Sure.
often your guys have to go out there, but
Gem Village.
And they're not paying property taxes for us, and
Yeah.
those go towards general fund, which pay for all
The-
of the different things that we end up providing them anyway.
How many
So,
houses?
Be snowplow on it?
I don't know, that's what you'd ask Jeremy.
How many houses?
What do you count do you have on that?
I don't know, I'd have to run a Cassell report would tell me.
It's a nice cluster. I've
Yeah.
seen I can definitely provide you a map of the area that I'm looking at.
Oh, we all.
Because I only see the
I
bad
would say
ones, so I have that
60.
number.
Yeah, I was
60?
thinking maybe,
Yeah, I think
60
you're right,
plus.
yeah.
I did this last round, they get a delinquent letter every month. I did this time whip my magic highlighter out though and highlighted the tax lien threat. That's part of the delinquent letter, so hopefully I can get some more revenue coming in for those, but yeah, it's the same names over and
It's okay. Well, we can, if there's something that we need to vote on, I don't think that's a
And,
problem.
You know, what they don't realize is when we do put that tax levy on,
They're paying more.
they do pay more, and if they have a mortgage, that's attached to their mortgage. And even though we don't get the money, we only get it for 1 year for the amount we put on there. It doesn't fall off their mortgage for at least 2 years. People don't understand that it increases their mortgage payment because they need more in their escrow account. That doesn't fall off their mortgage for at least 2 years. So, I mean, bad news for them. But,
And they're not the only ones, but
Yeah.
they're the cluster that we're
They're
dealing
the
with right now.
cluster.
That's a defined area. There's some in Gym Village, there's some in other parts of town that happen, that are kind of islands within the town. But I think for our own sanity, I think we probably, especially if we start looking at code enforcement,
Yeah.
kind of hard to enforce
What-
on somebody here when right next door they've got issues. And we've got, I don't know how many places, we were talking about one today that's out in the county, but it's actually right in the middle of town, it's surrounded by everybody. So we probably need to look at some of those and, you know, I know it's not always popular, but it's not fair to the neighbors.
No, it's not fair
everybody
to
else that
the
you're paying for
taxpayers.
services, and your neighbor's not paying for the same thing, his road's getting plowed, his, you know.
Well, I think it would set a precedence too, that if we're looking at homestead, then maybe others will come into line. But, I mean, you can't ever tell, but I think that definitely we need to look at homestead, set that precedence that we're gonna reach over. If you're gonna flush it, you're gonna pay for it.
Well, and also, once we have homestead, can't we get some of the commercial properties? Aren't they now contiguous enough, and then we can then maybe try to get some of those? Because that's some tax revenue as well.
There are tax revenues out there. Now, there are difficult, I mean, obviously, you've got some, you know, of course, there's the balloon out there that's popular. That's Jim Village, I think.
Where is she?
Homestead's right
Further
there.
out.
Yeah.
They're right next to each other.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I mean, the chief would probably lose what remaining hair he has.
All right, so I don't know that that's in the 2026 budget.
Profiling.
So, yeah, I'm gonna get us back on track. I think this is great conversation, but
Okay.
what
so,
else do we need to talk about?
Anyway, your inflow and infiltration is a straightforward fee. It's ahead a little bit too, which is nice. I mean, it's something. Now, there are some things on here I don't understand, and I didn't have time to sit down, and Jeremy's out today, unfortunately, and I think Kathy will probably know more about these items, but your planned investment fees, I'm assuming, are impact fees?
those are your tap fees, yes.
So those are the tap fees?
Those are actual plant, yes.
Okay, what is the miscellaneous sewer? Is that a grant?
Okay, no, the miscellaneous income, we should not project that for next year,
Okay.
because that money is the money that, the insurance money that we collected for the accident when the gentleman hit our lift station. We collected
Yeah.
we collected an insurance check from his insurance company for that damage. So the money had to go into a revenue account, so it was put into miscellaneous
Right.
revenue, and it was expended out of building maintenance.
And I'm trying to
Which
get our
makes more
deductible
sense when
back
you look
on
at
it
the
too,
budget
from
Yes.
the victim
Yeah,
impact
if you
statement.
take that out,
Yes.
it looks more.
And the
on par.
exact same thing happened in the general fund.
Which is that 94,000?
Yes,
I remember
that
one.
income is the money from the town hall flood. It came in and went into the revenue, but it was expended through building maintenance, which will be why that account is over budget and miscellaneous revenue has
And-
more money than it should.
And I to point out too is gonna sunset next year.
Yes,
Yeah.
So I will sunset.
Yeah, it says there's a capital improvement sitting in there that we need to, otherwise Tabor. Okay.
Yeah. It will,
Ryan is costly, your plan.
it will sunset, and we have to have those, there's a date, I don't know what the date is, but there's a date that we have to have those funds expended, or we have to return them to the customers.
Let's expend it.
Well, we do have projects that are planned, though. I know
Yeah.
that the Ravenlock or the Piper, whatever we got.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Yeah, and I sent,
That was gonna be the project. Okay, so, and again, if you'll go back to the, going back to what Kathy was pointing out, you'll see that under the second page, you look down at the bottom, you'll see the miscellaneous revenues, not the 94, 329 is only listed once
Oh.
there. The anticipated for the next year is 1,000, because I didn't know what that was. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
You answered, I think it was Laura's question. At
Yes.
one of the council meetings.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Where is that? You're good.
Okay, so when we go down to the water now, are there any other questions on the sewer?
No.
Okay. Going down to the water, the sale for the water, again, is a little bit higher than where it's supposed to be this time of the year, which I guess is a double-edged sword. It's a good thing that, we're using more water. And obviously, this year was, we felt a little bit of a pinch of that. So, that's one of those balancing acts that it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. But based upon our usage this year, I've put a little bit more in because I know that we're probably going to have some more development here. We know we're expecting some more places along the highway, and that would be additional water. So I do believe there'll be some additional sales there. Late fees are high. That's not a good thing. Certainly, I want to make sure that we reduce that. Hopefully, everyone pays their bill on time, but we're ahead on that. We budgeted 17,500, and at the end of August, we were already at 35,246. So a lot of folks are
the
having a
only
hard
big
time
ones we
paying
had
their
are
bills.
the lift station in town.
Hopefully, things get better and we can drop that a little bit, but I still raised it somewhat because I anticipated it's not going to just go right away this year.
Right.
Don't know what a water salesman is. I think I need Kathy to answer that one.
The water.
Somebody can
I
answer.
can-
Please
Dustin
answer.
can answer.
Is this a door-to-door person? with a
No,
suitcase
that's
full of
our,
water?
that's our station over there by Mountain View Drive, where people with septic systems and things like that and don't have good wells come and fill up for, 2 cents a gallon.
But we have a meter at Bill Station.
Yes, yes, we charge 2 cents a gallon.
I learned something every day.
Yeah, it's a good little moneymaker.
Hydrant meter deposits, if they need to put a hydrant on a meter for construction or something like that, they put a deposit down on the meter when they use it.
Just raw water.
They also pay a construction.
No, it's not raw, sorry, it's
rate
treated.
for water, I'm assuming,
Mhm.
for the water, it's a special rate above and beyond that. Water meter and supplies, when people need that for their construction projects, they're becoming a test for those things. We take care of it. We're a little bit lower than this year, but we may go up. Again, that was kind of a, either I can go with where we are now and then just be happy when we raise it. It's kind of a pass through anyway. As they buy that stuff, we go out and provide that to them. Water reconnects, we budgeted 6,000, which is, again, this doesn't make the same kind of sense as what we saw above at the second line item. We've got a lot of people that are paying the late fees and the interest that are attached to it. But fortunately, those folks are getting in here and getting their bills paid in time so that they're not being shut off.
Well,
We had the billing
we had
holiday.
where we had some billing issues, and
Yeah.
so we delayed some of our billing, as a result, so that they didn't
Yeah,
have
we had the
it shut
billing
off,
holiday.
Because it was our fault, but then they didn't, so yeah.
Makes sense, okay. Well, here I thought it was
Yeah.
a good thing. That
Oh,
folks
no.
are getting them out here and.
If only.
I haven't had any shut-offs for 2 straight cycles because we've been trying to reach out, and we do reach out and say, hey, can you pay this? And they do, and they call Renee, and Renee's like, you got to talk to Dustin. And then I do the math and tell them what they can pay to not get their water shut off because it's 90-day delinquent. So you take the 2 numbers off Cassell, and that's what they need to pay. I mean, we're being very proactive not to shut people off, which is nice too. But yeah, it is gonna. They don't get the $35 fee then.
Cost of living's gone up exponentially,
Yeah.
these
Okay, so interest on water and sewer investments, on all of our enterprise funds, we put interest on it to the bank. The interest rates, again, they're not right where we need them at. This may be a month behind, I'm not sure, the interest,
the interest should be current.
the
Which one are you
interest is
looking at?
current. So this is current, this is based on current amount as.
Interest
through,
on water and sewer investments, is that the line item you're talking
Is that what you're talking about, John, is
Yeah.
interest on water and sewer?
It's,
about? And
yeah,
that's,
this-
that's
actually,
the
this was
interest
water.
in the bank?
There's one in sewer.
This
too.
is interest that we collect at Cala Trust.
Okay, so rates are going down,
Exactly.
and I think you need to, I think that number needs to be lower.
Needs to be lower than that.
Yes.
Okay.
I've got my pulse on that one. 'cause
Yeah, I
that's
haven't,
good.
Actually,
all
work with our
they've done,
CFO
all
constantly
Cala
on it.
Trust has done so far is
Yeah.
just warn us that they're gonna go down, but they haven't told us to what.
Where are they at on their interest rates, do you know?
4.73,
Okay, so they're still
something
higher
like that.
than the banks, so
Yeah,
that's good.
they're still higher,
Yeah.
but, I think they're gonna go down, God, I got that flyer. Seems to me that they're guessing at like 4.5, but could be as
I
low
think
as
it's gonna go
4.3.
lower than that.
I think it's gonna be lower than
Yeah,
that too.
I think it's gonna go lower.
But-
I'd almost estimate at 4.1 for them, because we're looking at more the 3%.
Yeah.
Well, you guys like raise your eyebrows, but you know what?
No.
How many years were we at 0.15?
Exactly, exactly.
So don't be
Right.
raising your eyebrows.
No, you're right.
What's that?
I mean,
I put a residential loan in, I'm really interested in that right now, so,
A mortgage loan?
yeah, big time. I mean,
Well-
I've got one that's sitting at about a little under 3%, and I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah, and
7.
it's double, yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's
But I will
double.
say that the prime rate did go down like the last 2-3 weeks ago, I think it was, 0.25%, so that's a plus.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm watching, because I'm gonna have to get a bigger one up here, because the cost per square foot is so much higher.
Now, rates like we're talking about are not based off prime, they're based off.
All right, so as you're looking down plan investment fees, I'm guessing are the tap fees again?
Yes,
Okay.
you are correct.
And we're doing really well on those right now. So I'm anticipating we're gonna continue to do well on those.
As construction
Sitting where we
happens.
are. Yeah.
Right, which we have enough for next year to basically duplicate what we did this year,
Yes.
so I think you're
Hopefully,
right on
yes.
those numbers.
Yes.
Cash in lieu of water rights is not going to happen.
So your miscellaneous revenue, the beginning it was just like, yeah. But right now, it is being utilized to collect the $100 transfer fee that we charge when, from one renter to another, or when the house sells, owner, there's a fee associated with that. So that needs to be changed to, account transfer fee. Yes,
Especially for projecting on
exactly.
that, county, citizens of this.
Right.
No, it is not.
Yeah,
You
miscellaneous.
want your $100 a year or $1,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, not 30.
Okay, and again, I'm guessing that this is a byproduct, it's another sales tax driven item, so I'm guessing it's a byproduct of what we were talking about earlier.
Probably.
So again, I hope that.
So too.
We'll check on that. and make sure.
what our intention was to put the money in it and get the money back from the lots. That money.
That is exactly what contract is. Those strategies, they do.
But we didn't make.
It's not mandatory that they buy them.
So how did they build the house and sell it to somebody? It has to go out of our deed.
Well, once the infrastructure's done and we close this $2 million infrastructure grant, that's when the property has to sell. It has to sell before vertical construction starts. And
So that's not saying, and then they'll sell, whether it's that guy or another.
right, the guys that are working on
That
it
money
currently,
should come back to us,
That's
and
right.
that should
Yes.
this intersection to
Yeah.
help us bridge
Yes.
that gap.
yes,
Eventually.
yes.
To have a conversation with them.
Yeah, and they're consulting with their financing. They're working on their financing, so.
They did tell us that. While we
So-
are on the county issue, that also is, I do that to a separate fund.
Okay,
So
I was gonna ask, cause
if-
I didn't see
Actually,
it.
your grant requires that, if the grant agreement is not separate, so that would be its own sheet. I'm trying to encompass all of what we found so far, because from what I found, we looked at the I spent almost a day understanding what we had spent on Center Heights. I had that question already. I know that one of the colleagues asked that, what does this entail? Where's the money come from? And how much do we pay to it? And so we sat down and met with the engineers today, and we know that the transfers in, at least one of those transfers in, did occur. Back in '22, you transferred 60 grand. So I don't know why.
So if it does happen where that money's applied, it's for the 2-year time period, couldn't we take some reserves and put that into that project with this intersection with the intention of paying ourselves back into our reserves after the project? Correct.
Go out and get it.
Again, just enough for the remaining amount that
You
you
got it,
need,
you
yeah.
got it. And so, my goal for the intersection project, we're gonna start, we've already started doing the clearances and everything. I've seen the vehicles driving, they're getting the markings and everything. All of the work that we've been waiting on for over a year started the day that you guys passed that contract decision, because I basically lit a fire last year. So they're out there pushing it. I'm gonna continue to lead it.
Oh, I'm not gonna be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you, Matt? Cause how many years have you been on the board that you wanna be
I-
there too, trying to get this darn
Well, I
project
say
going?
invite former mayors and
Yeah.
commissioners and anybody else. that's
I could
interested
probably
down
get,
there.
Rick
Because
Smith back here, right? Yeah.
Whoever knows where to get the voters. I think y'all invite the former mayor. I know it's just like that. Invite the current county.
More the merrier.
Yeah, because when our name is out there, we got this thing done, it makes it easier for us. Yeah, people out there like it. It looks like it was really hot.
Well, thanks for lighting the fire to get the next, whatever the traffic study is, or what you were just talking about done.
It's the environmental clearances.
Yeah, clearances,
the
that's what you said,
clearance,
yeah.
Cultural clearance, because the CDOT requires that, and you got surveys. So those three things were the low-hanging fruit, should have been done. They're getting done now. And then there's some negotiation with the ditch company, because there's a part of the ditch company, and there's a transit that, unfortunately, that's a CDOT discussion. not ours.
Yeah.
But they threw in an extra review period to CDOT to bring in change, to bring in access to small property, to a big property. When that happens, that requires CDOT to throw another review. Money for the reviewer, and they've got to put another presentation.
Right.
And so, if that's time that I've met with the supervisor and folks that are running the it's very, and they have assured me that they will be, that this is a top priority for them, and we will be very careful about it. They do, some of them have already looked at this. They've got some of them that are already. Again, I'm not going to go back. Here with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that money to go to waste.
Right,
I want
right.
that money to get spent.
I just want it to get done. I'd like to see something get done. There's always studies. I'm like, let's just move on. Let's just get it done.
And we're ready to move on. I mean, we've
Yeah.
got enough money to start a construction project, so.
Yeah.
You know, it's not unusual to go out for bid for your contractor and, you know, still not have all the money you need, because, let's face it, you don't know what the prices are sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially in a case like this where it's drug on. You know, there'll be some inflation in there, so we wanna make sure that, when I'm going out to get the money, I only have to do it once.
Right.
and Not multiple times.
It's kind of like when we redid the bridges. Remember the process that we went through just to get the bridges redone? I mean, that was a big accomplishment, but I would really like to see this intersection through, so I appreciate that.
And it's gonna require work on the part of the code. I can go to the rest of the building, and know where they are, and that's something. I can go to the state.
We're at that point. Give us what we need to know to get it done.
And I've got it in your budget, so you'll see that in your budget as well, to
Sweet.
do some traveling and knock some of that stuff out, and I'm
So, highway users tax, why isn't there anything in there for fiscal year '26?
I'm sorry, that was because Tom and I.
Okay.
And I really wasn't quite sure about what the president wanted to we actually got an estimate that they had to redo.
Yes,
And
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
that's what you know, right? So, we sent that to us, we had to recalculate, send it back, and then I was told by Patrick not to use that number.
Yeah,
The other
it-
night when we were there.
Because
So that number is gonna move a little bit. At first it was low, then it was high, now I guess it's low again.
yeah, now it's
So,
back to the.
Okay.
but we'll see, that's a state revenue based upon
Yeah.
usage of their highway, I guess.
Yeah.
Because this all looks, other than the interest,
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
good.
she projected really high on that interest
okay.
Yeah, I think it
in the
is.
street fund,
Yeah.
because there's not that much money in College Trust in the
Right.
streets, so,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Well, no, I feel pretty good about this. I just had a question about why there wasn't something there, but.
I have one other thing that I want, just food for thought for Tuesday night, because it'll be brought up Tuesday night, and it's not a revenue, it's an expense. But I want you guys to think about it, is in the past, we've always had fallen spring cleaning. So Jeremy's gonna present this on Tuesday night. Prior to the garbage service that we have now, our spring and fall cleanup is provided by us for free. It was
remember
not-
this discussion in the
It's not
spring.
included in this contract.
Yeah,
So-
what a mess. Yeah.
So when we did spring cleanup this year, the provider that we have, we cannot provide that service. We have to go back to, Waste Management. They provided that service to us at that time, because of the sludge issue. And they gave it to us at a 50% discount. So they provided that service in the spring at $3,400. But so that everything was, so it was really costly, $7,000 to provide spring cleanup and then another $7,000 for fall cleanup. We budgeted $1,200 this year for spring cleanup, so we're over budget. Have a fall cleanup. I did tell Jeremy that the projected funds in the garbage fund are, they're gonna come in a little higher than I project that they're gonna come in about $7,500 higher than what we anticipated, which would pay for the fall cleanup, but it won't fix the parts that we're already owing. So keep that in mind when you make that decision
So we're still in the hole.
on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
We are still going to be in the
Oh,
hole.
we'd be whole even more if we didn't.
We're gonna be in the,
It's an enterprise fund too. and you're-
yeah, and that's an enterprise fund.
Oh, well, then that's a big fat no.
So, and in that same fund is where we have always paid that utility relief money that we're not allowed to do anymore. And just so you're aware, we budgeted 1,500 and we paid out 2,300. So that enterprise fund is already gonna be upside down. So when you guys are asked to make that decision, we're still gonna be in the hole. Okay? I mean, just so you're aware, just so you have time to think about it.
Oh.
You know, I just don't want you to be on the spot Tuesday night
No, it's
and
fine.
everybody's like, yes, we need a fall cleanup. Well, just so you know,
We
it's
need to
gonna
be able to
cost
pay
us
for it.
money.
If there's no money to pay for it, then it's not a service we can
Exactly.
provide.
And I mean, if that's something you wanna keep in the future, then we need to budget for it appropriately.
Well, I also think we could put out a survey to our citizens and ask them what's important to them.
Yeah.
Well,
You
we
know,
they're
I would say
using
the
it
police
because they-
department
They
is.
have it completely full within an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're not there early in the line, you're not gonna be able to put your stuff in it.
So I mean, there's still
They
people
refill.
that can't even use it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
There might be people that'd be willing to pay for that. service,
Yeah.
too.
Well,
So
in the past,
something you could ask the
Yeah.
citizens if
Right.
they're
Well,
interested in paying for.
in the
And-
past, we did. We
and-
charged.
And that actually might be the way we go, since there are citizens that are in essence paying for it, their taxes and
Yeah,
their monies are
that
paying for
they-
it, and they can't use it because they
They don't
didn't
get there early enough. Yeah.
And it's full. So, yeah, why don't we just make it?
And so a follow-up on the one item, since Kathy brought that up, when I saw that you guys were providing relief funds for utility bills, whether it's garbage or water or anything like that, I know that that's a no-no, but I wanted to make sure it's a no-no here too. It's all based on the LIHEAP ordinances, which
Yeah.
is, the energy
Yeah.
usage. And the state does have a connector to that, but there's a caveat to that. A town or a government cannot pay for anything that hasn't been voluntarily provided, donated to the town. You have to have something. So if you see on the energy bills, it says if you want to donate to the lighting thing, you can check off and donate $1 to it. We don't have that on ours. We didn't have any voluntary money, so we're liable to get an audit finding on that because that was not
Done
legal.
correctly.
Yeah, had we had some
Okay.
volunteer monies donated to us for that, from anybody, we could have put it aside and then used that as a fund until it expired, until you ran out of money. But that's not allowed, and I did confirm that with Mr. Goldman, that that's the only way that you can do that. But that doesn't mean that you guys can't vote to put a box on the water bill saying.
Check
somebody
off
wants
if you
to
wanna-
I
donate
think
money,
that's
that'd be
definitely,
fine.
we should do that.
No, I was gonna say, you're starting to get
Okay.
people saying, hey, I have this stuff, when before they get rid of it.
How many years have we done that? Because it's been
Several.
quite a
Yeah,
few,
yeah,
hasn't it?
she
I'm like,
started it during COVID,
Well,
so it might have started in 2020 or
No, I thought it was
2021.
before that.
well, prior
Oh, I don't remember
to,
that.
prior to Katie, there was always a senior rate.
Right.
Oh.
That if you were 55 or older, you
Oh,
could
that's
come.
right.
Yeah,
But only one person took advantage of it.
yeah, but you had to come in and fill out
No,
this.
can we do that again?
Yeah,
I'm
I
almost there.
qualify. You could come in and fill out this paper and it told you right there, if you're a family of one, you can make this much. If you're a family of two, you can make this much. Well, what people did is, oh, well, I make less than that. We don't verify income. We just, so we, so we had several people on this senior rate.
Then didn't it just carry over when they sold their house to whoever was there next? I remember this whole
Staff that
box.
carried it over and, yes, and so when Katie came, she's like, why do we have that? Let's start this utility relief fund and do this based on,
If you qualified for the.
if you qualified for leave or whatever, then you would get this money. Well,
All right, yeah, so.
apparently that wasn't legally.
All right, well.
Ordinance, then you could put on your bill.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah,
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
and
a
maybe-
cure that we
yeah,
have
maybe
for
she
us.
I feel like if residents would like to donate money from on their bill, that's up. I don't see why we can't do that, because then we're just the pass-through.
That's the way it was supposed to be, and, when it was, well, it said that we would provide it to anybody that wanted us a certificate saying that they were, so that's what we did. And of course, there was more people this year that applied for it and were accepted, so. Now, this year, we did distribute it by doing the $100 on the bill, with a one-time credit. Whereas in the past, we actually printed coupons that they had to give us every month, or it was a, yeah.
That's all I have. The 21st of October would be the date that they're going to be giving their presentation.
Oh God, I'm so glad I'll be in Italy.
So,
You guys have fun.
anyway, and then you're not going to dial in from
You're
Italy.
not gonna
Yeah, right?
You're not
remind me.
zooming
Yeah,
in?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I think it's
I
like,
say we all go with you.
yeah, right.
Have a meeting on
Yeah.
Skype.
John,
Anyway.
when, in the past, when we would do budget, we would actually do a lot of different